Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining me. It's Tuesday night here, not our usual day, Monday night, so I appreciate whoever shows up tonight. I'm not sure if you guys got the notification, but hopefully you did. We couldn't do last night because it was Halloween. Halloween is my father-in-law's birthday. So every Halloween for the last couple of decades, we hang out at my in-laws' house on Halloween. So I couldn't do the show last night. Sorry about that. But we are here tonight, so we'll see who shows up. I appreciate anybody who does come in. So welcome aboard. Hey, CJ. CJ's here, so all is well. Good to see you, CJ. Thanks for coming in. Had a nice, hey, Stephen, how you doing? Welcome. Great to have you guys on. I'm glad you got the notifications. I wasn't sure. I put it out yesterday, I believe, but I know most of us, including myself, are creatures of habit, and you get accustomed to certain nights for certain shows. But like I said, I just hoped that we could do maybe a quick one tonight, just have a quick discussion, new month, maybe talk about the previous month, which wound up being a positive for me, which was really cool. Because last week, if you recall, the last chat show we did, you probably caught me whining a bit about views and such. And we went in that night, actually had a great discussion with some people about my whole promoted thing being a disaster. I did fix that. And to my great pleasure, this last week has been exceptionally good, really, really good on all counts. And of course, the bottom line is sales. Sales have been good. So I wound up salvaging the month, the beginning of my month of October up until the 15th or so. I was doing fine. Breaks kind of went on around the 15th, 16th until last week, pretty much. And then that last week went out with a flurry. So all in all, October, I wound up being up 33% gross sales. Hard to complain about that. Hey, Karen, how you doing? Welcome aboard. I'm glad you can make it. Hey, Grant, thanks for coming in. And Lake Erie, how you doing? Great. Glad to show us since you were at the Browns game. Oh, okay, no problem. Yeah, Halloween coupled with much more importantly in my family anyway was my father-in-law's birthday. So we hung out, had some dinner and a party for him. Halloween was kind of a non-event. Unfortunately, here it rained, and there was no kids out. There was like 3 kids, trying to. But it wasn't just like drizzle. It was pouring rain for the bulk of the evening, like from the time it got dark, basically 5:30, 6 o'clock until all night. So I felt bad for the little ones. But yeah, it wound up being a really good month for me, which I'm very happy about. I hope you guys have similar tales to tell. I'd be curious to hear about that. I always like to, the first of the month, no matter what month it is, it's a great opportunity to look back at the prior month, pull down some reporting, pull down some numbers, see where you stand, especially these, last few months of the year going into the new year, when things theoretically should be kind of at their peak. Hey, Connie, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. Good to have you. That's Mark. I was like, did you see how I did this double take? That's not Connie. Hopefully Connie will be in. But anyway, how you doing, Mark? What's up, man? Good to have you. And Connie, if you are in, welcome aboard. Hey, Kelly. Yeah, me too. Especially this last week. It's been really nice, solid. I'm going to attribute the bulk of my success, quote unquote, for October directly to the postcard thing. I wound up listing about 1,200 of them, sold a bunch. It definitely helped things, especially during that lean week I had, And I guess that the constant listing, coupled with the correction to the atrocious, what I have, 60 something. Active campaigns out there. That wasn't a good thing. So anyway, that's all been kind of tucked away and fixed. I just went in prior to this show, and I only had a handful to do end and sell similar that were 30 days that were October 1st, like less, I think 100 or less. So that's pretty cool. So things have been moving and grooving. I continue to list, as always, but now with the postcards, pretty decent quantity. You might remember last week, Friday and Saturday, I had a Beatles show, so I basically did no listing at all on Friday and Saturday. I got a couple in the morning, but nothing like I'd like to get like 50 to 100 a day postcard wise. And then Sunday we went over to one of my sons. I know, right? The fiddle gets out, but went over to one of my sons. It was his birthday Thursday, so we hung out on Sunday. So that was kind of a lost day as well. So yesterday was really the first day to get back into listing, and then we had to kind of cut it short because we had to head over to my in-laws. Yes, honey, I know. So today was a hardcore eBay day. Yeah, I'd love to know what that means too. No problem. Hey, Connie, how you doing? I don't know why. I'm so sorry. I misread Mark SM as CK. You know, these things happen, I guess, as the doctors say, as we age. Yeah, can't wait to see what this means. The easy auction tracker, of course. Is that another? I have no idea what that is. So if you care to share with the world, Kelly, I'd appreciate it. Speaking of auctions, I had a real small handful, 10 or 11 albums I wound up putting into auction. I sold one out of the 10. No, it was 11. One out of 11. And that auction just ended on Sunday. So they're sitting out there. I'm debating whether to just put another auction up or just list them proper, as buy it house. But that we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, just scrolling really quickly because I did want to see. Yeah, I wound up doing the end and sell some again, maybe an hour ago for 99 items that were all dated October 1st. So we gave them a fresh start. I don't have another one to do or another batch until the 6th. I'm trying to stick with it basically about a month, 30 days, give or take, trying not to let anything get past that 30-day mark. So that did encompass a bunch of postcards that I had listed on October 1st. So we'll see what happens with that. So the handful that I listed today, along with this, and then so similar, I should have like 150 new listings, I guess, today. Yep, pretty cool. So we'll see how that works. I'm also selling completely unrelated to ephemera stuff suddenly, which is pretty cool. Some Disney items sold. You might have seen I did a video yesterday, a what sold video, some Disney stuff sold. Some good old print ads. The print ads have been selling really well. I had the one, if anybody watched the video, 13. One gentleman picked up 13 ads for me. That was so cool. So that was big bucks on that one. And then I had another multiple purchase. Somebody bought 3 print ads at once. Today we sold some shoes that we've had up for a long time. Just like things are all sort of, the activity in general has increased for me and hopefully for everybody else out there. I did try the auction thing just for those records because they were kind of stagnant. They were sitting out there over and over, and they're not high dollars. They're like $10. So I figured, hey, let me try to do the auction thing. And one went out for $10. The other 10 didn't sell. So we'll see what happens. It's just a sales tracking software, Excel macro. Okay. You start the macro and it pulls all the eBay sold data. Cool. Oh, I wanted to tell you, Kelly, and anybody else interested, I did just yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? Re-upped my hip postcard count. I'm going to try the store again. Give it one more month. It's like $13.95, I think, a month. If you do the month, I'm not committing to a year. If I had some success, I would. It's like 9 something a year, but $13, whatever. And I got with them. Unfortunately, because I had not had any activity for like over a year, the account was still live, but I had to actually send an email over to the folks at HIP in order to initiate the transfer from eBay over to HIP again. So it took a little while to do that, but everything came over. So now I have like close to 1,000 listings, which is pretty cool. I didn't have nearly that many last time. So we'll see what happens. So I'm going to try to HIP it. I'm not expecting big things, but it's just exciting because I have about 1,000 listings now with postcards. I figure, what the heck, it can't hurt. So for $14, basically, I roll the dice for a month. We'll see what happens in November. And if I get a couple of sales, maybe we'll keep it up. If it kind of just dies like it did last time, I'll bail again. But I figured, what the heck, while times are good, let's try to ride the wave, Is that something that you guys both have used typically? It sounds kind of cool. I had not heard of that before. Auctions are only good for hot items. Yeah, that's certainly true. On eBay, yes, I agree. Makes sense. The first you're using it makes bookkeeping so much easier. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, I know. I think you were talking about that last week, Kelly, or you had mentioned it somewhere. Did you really? You just activate. Yeah, well, you have. My goodness, you have a ton. It only took me. It didn't take them that long to do 1,000. It actually took a couple of hours though, which was kind of surprising. And they warned me with the email. I think they kind of have a canned response that says, please allow some time for the sync to go through. And I know that there's this new thing they recommend right on the front page of the website to run a report out of HIP and upload it into eBay periodically, just to make sure you don't have that cross-posting potential mess if something sells on one platform and doesn't come off the other, but we'll see. That's good stuff, Kelly. Yeah, what the heck, right? We'll give it a try. I mean, I'm going to give it the month for $14. It's worth trying. What the heck? Hello, my love. How are you? Welcome to the show. Hope you're doing well. 20 feet in back of me. Oh, yeah, cool. I never used it before. What is up, Jim? Is he back on? Because I know he was sick. I have a chance to win Papa's auction situation. Oh, that's not too bad. And that was what, since last night? So like almost 24 hours, huh? That's crazy. Definitely gonna look into this. He did move it up. See, I didn't know that. I know he was obviously he was ill. I wasn't sure if he was going to do one or not, but I'm good right now. Again, he says jokingly, I'm good. But I am. I'm good. I still have some to list, so I'll wait till I'm done listing these and sell some more, and then I'll pick up some more. I know where to go. I know where to go to get them. But yeah, guys, I mean, I'm really happy and grateful for everybody's input last week with regards to the promoted listing debacle. Self-inflicted wounds to my own store, not realizing it, and then hopefully it helps some other people out. Maybe I know it helped Dawn out for sure because she told me it did. She had a not as bad as me, but she had multiple campaigns running as well, and there's definitely a possibility that they might have been sort of canceling each other out. Who knows? But anyway, everything seems to be flowing really well right now. You know, items are being seen. That's all you want. You want the opportunity for people to see your stuff, right? You do all that work up front. With the photos and your titles and all the work that we do, especially on listing shows where we research things, and you want to provide as much, at least I do, provide as much information on most of my listings, other than postcards nowadays where I just kind of say, here's the title. Again, thanks to Kelly for that. But it's working great, so there's no reason to get into super detail. I could see if something, you come across a really cool postcard that maybe will get you some money, like $100 or 50, even $50. Maybe you go that extra yard on that one and put in some more stuff, but the lion's share of them, I totally agree with the philosophy of just kind of list them bare bones, and the photo and a good title, and the people that collect, they'll collect, and they'll be on the lookout for them. Oh, do you? Okay, yeah, subtle hint, no problem. I didn't watch your video yet, Mark, but I saw you had a video about, what was it, state flags or something, or flags? I saw the title quickly, so check that out. Hey, Sandy, how you doing? Good evening. Yeah, Sandy was one of the big helpers last week with the multiple campaign thing that I screwed up. So thank you again for that. It's been doing great, Sandy. If you're just catching up now, I had a really good week. Everything seems to be kind of back to normal. I wound up being up 33% gross month over month. So all is well again. Oh, that's pretty cool, Connie. Did you just give it a whirl again too? Has everybody just done the same thing as me? Like, let's try it one more month. What the heck? Can't hurt. I know Kelly was being lobbied by those people, so there you go. Appreciate it. Oh God, yeah. I mean, the one thing I will say is you never really know matter of factly, like if something you did worked or didn't, but I think it's a safe assumption that it definitely didn't hurt things to have one nice, neat promotion campaign. Everything seemed to tie right back to that date. So I don't think it's an accident that things are doing better since then. And again, yeah, I definitely appreciate the heads up on that, because that was really stupid of me. I had no idea I had so many running. I didn't even realize you had to end them. So now what I'm going to do is, now that you're here, actually, I was going to mention that, but I guess periodically, like within every couple of weeks, maybe I'll just take a look. And I think you were the one that suggested, right? If a scenario comes up again where like suddenly views are dropping, maybe I'll end that promotion that I have going and just kickstart a new one again, just to keep things fresh and tidy. I'm definitely a big fan of that philosophy. They reached out to you? Oh, you won't go back. Okay. Yeah, Etsy's been I've mentioned this before, but I have an Etsy store. You know, in theory, I have very few listings, and I don't give it the attention it needs, most likely. So I don't blame Etsy for my lack of success on Etsy. I don't do anything with them. I just cross-posted some stuff from eBay. Once in a blue moon, I'll get a sale, and it's, you know, yippee, I got a sale on Etsy. I don't have a lot of items that lend themselves to Etsy necessarily, although I've seen some people, including the aforementioned Canadian Dawn. I know she has a bunch of print ads over on Etsy, and she had some. She was telling me during the week she was selling some, especially Coca-Cola ads, old Coca-Cola ads with Santa Claus, things like that. So she's had some success with them. I have not. I've sold a ridiculously low amount of items on Etsy, and I don't even know why I keep the store active. I keep hoping that maybe I don't want to get rid of it, because what if we do come across something that we want to put out on Etsy? I don't want to have to kind of start from scratch, but it's kind of a waste at this point for me anyway. Good stuff. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check that out. Hey Jeff, how you doing? Good evening to you. Great to see you. Hopefully you had a decent month. We're doing the month in review. The month that was October. Hey Johnny, how you doing? Hello everyone. Good to see you, buddy. I watched you this morning for a little bit. Recommend everybody does that. 8:30 Monday to Friday over on Cajun Roots Reseller. Yeah, GoDaddy. We won't discuss that. Hey, what's up, Cameron? Yeah, how you doing? Good to see you. Welcome aboard. How'd you do in October, Cameron? Hi, Emporium. How you doing? I won't make reference to the font anymore, but still, every time I see it, I can't help but smile. Great to have you aboard. Mark runs a daily. You do weekly. Speaking of standard envelope, does anybody see a banner on their homepage? I got an email today, and then there's a banner up there about using, what is it? Dear seller, ship postcards for less. Sincerely, eBay. eBay standard envelope delivers protections and limited tracking. They have like a new promotion. I guess they're pushing the standard envelope suddenly. Again. Yeah, I had it too for a little while. It's a sin for me because I had kind of just started, maybe less than a year I had it, and then they went kaput. I got the email that says no more. I was digging it though, because we have GoDaddy for some. I do IT for a small company, and GoDaddy is part of my life on a daily basis. So I figured it would be nice to just add that for myself, and unfortunately, it went away. Yep. I don't know what people's level of experience is with GoDaddy as a, just overall their service and whatnot, but they're really good. I mean, again, for the small business that I do this work for, they're extremely receptive. If you have any questions, they're really good. They get back to you quickly. They're prompt. They want things to work correctly. But again, it's kind of a moot point for anybody who was using the bookkeeping because they took it away. But I did like it. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. You can put in your mileage and all that. I do that for the Beetle Band. Oh, really? That's not good. Well, how is it defined if you look at the verbiage about, the description of it on eBay's page, doesn't it say like they offer limited tracking or something? I don't know what the exact wording is, but it's something like that. Like they allude to the fact that it's not really tracking. It's kind of tracked. I don't know if that's their little way out if something gets screwed up. And then supposedly you're protected up to $50, I think. Yeah, agreed. Totally, Sandy. Bucky Salvage, what is going on? Great to have you back. Good to see you. Thanks to everybody for showing up on Tuesday. I wasn't sure. I don't know if there was competing shows or whatever that people might. I thought Tuesday was kind of a free night. I forgot about John's thing. And I thought I wasn't sure if he was going to do one because I know he's been so ill. So I didn't know if he was even going to do what is it called? Whatnot. I will be up on, what is it, next Saturday? The 11th is the next Ephemerama 3. No, the 12th, excuse me. Saturday the 12th. So a week from this Saturday, I will be on. I have a link below this video, I believe, that can take you directly to the show. If you guys are interested in checking out, we're probably going to do some print ads. They've been selling really well. Watch the videos and I know a lot of you guys, watch my stuff. Obviously, if you're watching the show and you've seen the success I've had with the print ads, and I do a whole series about them, but they've been picking up again lately, which is kind of cool. So you'll see when you get on Whatnot, it's a great opportunity to, if you don't have a big, a large amount of inventory, the print ads, it's a good opportunity to grab some. And I take all the busy work out of it. A lot of people don't want to go through the trouble of cutting them out and all that stuff. So when you go onto one of my Whatnot auctions, all that's done for you. It's thrown into a beautiful package for you, and you just scan them and list them and sell them. So hopefully I'll see you guys next week. We'll talk more about that probably next week's show, but it's on the 12th. Ephemerama 3. Does anybody else have that splash though on their on the Seller Hub? They usually put some kind of banner on the top. That's what this one is now. About shipping postcards. Actually, let me click on the link. I didn't even click on it. eBay standard envelope. They have a whole new thing about eBay standard envelope. It says you could basically fit up to 3 cards usually for about $1. I'm just reading what they put out to see if it says anything about tracking. Why can't I track? One of the frequently asked questions is the following. Why can't I track eBay standard envelope shipments on the USPS website? eBay standard envelope is an eBay delivery service, so that they kind of disassociate themselves with the post office, and is tracked by our customers through their eBay accounts. Sellers can find track information in my eBay or Seller Hub. If your buyer is asking for tracking information, please direct them to their purchase transaction history. So they actually don't answer the frequently asked question at all. The question was, why can't you see the tracking on the post office website? And they just backtrack and say it's because it's an eBay product, I guess. It's crazy. But I know a lot of us in this room probably use it. So far, so good with that. I haven't had any issues. But again, very small sampling, especially relative to many of you who sell these things for years and have 20, 30,000 listings. But I've had no complaints yet on postcard deliveries, not getting there. Thank goodness. And I've only used first class on the $150 card I sold. That Texas marble thing was a regular first class, which went off without a hitch. But I've had no complaints about the standard envelope stuff I've sent out. Limited, there you go. You're not getting any scans anymore. Yeah, and then you're kind of anxious, right? And if you don't get any feedback, you don't really know how it went or what they think. Yeah, I know. Anxiety stinks. Etsy letter track, just a barcode and envelope. Yep. You had 40 no tracking hit your stats yesterday. Called them immediately, especially when my store went silent. Ooh. And what did they say, Connie? All right, we will look out for that. Check out Mark. Everybody has their methods. Oh, yeah? Well, don't you live kind of right? What's your town? Mechanicsburg? Was that it? You live pretty close. Jeff, I agree. You're talking to the Butcher Supreme here. Ain't seen a magazine I can't cut up yet. eBay fine. Not sure what that is either, unless it's a typo. You tried QB it and hated it, immediately got rid of it. In fact, Excel. System to system. And I guess stuff breaks down somewhere in that chain. Exactly what eBay had a break on this side. Chambersburg, that's it. Okay. Yeah, all my stuff is, you said yours is Harrisburg. All mine, it winds up being Philadelphia because we live 15 minutes south of Philadelphia. And Philadelphia is a black hole sometimes with postage in general, not just the standard envelope stuff, but whether I'm buying something or selling something, you will often see it kind of stuck in Philadelphia. Yeah, that's cool, and it says that again in the right. But it's up to $50. Is that correct, Mark? It's only up to coverage up to 50. But then again, you can't use it if it's over 20, right? So I guess the point is moot. Pine Rider. Sorry, another seller spoke of it on Matt's. I have no idea what Pine Rider is. It sounds like a bad movie. I just thought it was interesting that they're putting this whole new marketing push into the eBay standard envelope suddenly, at least on my page. Again, if anybody else, let me know if you guys see it, because it's right on my Seller Hub, the top little banner thing going across. And then I got an email as well about it, as if I wasn't using it. So it's obviously it's not personalized. It's just something that sent, you know, a mass, like a push, a blast, I should say. I'll tell you one thing and this isn't to whine at all, but we have the luxury, if you will, of having post office comes here physically and picks up our stuff every day. We have a couple of those baskets. I don't know if everybody has them, but you know, the plastic baskets that you could see in the post office sometimes. We basically just fill those 2 up. And if we need a third one, they'll give it to us. But usually I could get everything in 2 of them. I leave them out on my front porch and they come and pick them up every day. Well, was it last week? Sometime last week, for whatever reason, nobody came. And it was like 5:30 or something. I give it until 5, so 5:30. Thing is, once they haven't come at 5:30, guess what? All those items suddenly don't get a scan that day. And it dropped me out of nowhere for, if you look at your seller level, all that stuff, there's a field that says tracking uploaded on time and validated. I went down to 97%, which is still above the thing. It's 95, but it's all because of missed scans. And ironically, postcards were part of that. I don't think the whole thing was postcards, but it's kind of messed up, you know. And then I got to see what happens, because I think it rectifies itself once you get a scan. I don't know. I don't have a lot of experience with that. Again, if anybody out there does, but it's just kind of shocking when you're always like at 100%, and suddenly it went down to 97. I'm like, what? And it says right here, then you can look at a detail. And it looks like all these things happen the same day. 4 of them uploaded on time, but no carrier scan. Not cool. And that's a huge impact. So it's like, that's the one little roll of the dice. You know, it's convenient as heck for us that I don't have to drive anymore out to the post office. Not that it's that big of a deal, but it's a pain in the neck, you know. It's nice to have them come and pick it up. And it took a long time for me to get somebody that would actually, you know, I put the requests in through the website. We had you could put in a request to have somebody pick it up every day or whatever the frequency you want. And I put that in, and this was like a year ago, probably over a year ago at this point. And they never showed up those first few days. They would claim ignorance, you know, oh, I didn't see it or whatever. So finally, I kind of chased down this guy. You know, I said, hey, I was polite about it, of course, but I said, hey, we have an eBay business. We're going to be sending stuff every day. Would you mind coming? Oh, yeah, sure. And he goes, yeah. And he checked, and sure enough, it was in the system. And then we had a girl come on, a woman, a new post woman, whatever the term is, come on about a year ago. She's been wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And she is, I mean, she's so helpful. We got her a Christmas card last year. We gave her like a little gift card and all that as a thank you, because I'll tell you, she saves the day more often than not. But it seems like whenever she's out on vacation, she always leaves a note, which is also kind of cute. She'll leave a note in the box. Her name is Cynthia. She'll say, hi, guys, you know, I'll be out on vacation from this date to this date. I left a message with Jose or whoever, you know, is going to be replacing me to come to your house. And that's always when I have to be a little nervous, because I'm not sure Jose is going to show up. And I don't know what the story was last week, but I did drop to 97%, much to my chagrin. Kind of mad. You have a video that covers claim. Cool. Oh, he's a seller. Okay, sorry about that. Is that his name, his YouTube name, or is it some other name? You saw that this morning. The banner, I guess what you talk about, Steven. Hey, Tracy, how you doing? Listening and driving. What's the term? So you're not lursting. You're dursting. You're dissoning. There you go, dissoning, driving and listening. How you doing, Tracy? I guess I speak for everybody. We don't want to get into these messes with claims and all that nonsense, right? We just want things to work. As my wife says often with technology, I just want it to work. She doesn't care about the particulars. When I plug this in, I want it to work. If only life were that simple. Yeah, I mean, I usually do too, Mark, but this 1 week screwed me big time. Last week, this one day specifically screwed me, because I just dropped to 97%. I read somewhere, I did extremely little bit of research about it, because again, I never had this issue. And there's like an asterisk now. It says tracking uploaded and validated on time. It says you could lose your top rated if you drop below 95. So I had 4 of them hit suddenly. I think it was Thursday. For this requirement, we look at your transactions during the past 3 months. Okay, so after 3 months, that's good. It doesn't stick there like a year, like if you get, God forbid, negative feedback. It's just unnecessary agita. The rep you spoke with yesterday confirmed if my cell level drops, my item will not show for best match in searches. Oh, it's a huge issue. Yep. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this. Say what you want, the top rated thing. I'd be pretty upset if I lost it, especially over something that really technically isn't my fault. Like, everything was there. It gets picked up every day. Oh, yeah? And you never saw a dip? That's interesting. You wouldn't trust them to pick up here. You can't even get them to leave the packages in the rain. Yeah, I totally understand that, Kelly, because, again, for a good period, for years, for the first, 2.5 years, I started doing it full time, and I'm only a little over 4 now. I would take it every single day. I never trusted anybody either, because the thing is, we had like a rotating cast of mailmen. Like, it was never the same person. It was always somebody different. I live in a townhome community. I don't know if there's any reason why, but it was ridiculous. So finally, when we kind of had somebody that was good, I, clung on and said, "Hey, can you please come over?" We have like it's like a universal mailing dock. I don't know how you describe it. Just a bunch of cubbies that are down at the end of the street, and everybody on my block all has a cubby. So that's a good chance to go down and talk to them. When I see the mail truck, I'll run down and under the guise of like taking out the garbage or something. I'll go down and just say hi, and that's how I got this lady Cynthia to commit to coming every day, like whether it was in the system or not. Even though I know it's in the system and I put it out, you could put it out for 365 days, so it's automatically in there every year, for a whole year. But sometimes the best thing is to just kind of go up and introduce yourself. And she's been great. I mean, she's been really, really great. But I definitely understand that, Kelly, because like I said, for 2 years or so, I didn't trust them either. The thing is, when the virus stuff hit, that was awful. I had to stand in, they had the 6-foot thing and the masks and the gloves and all. My God, it was like it took 3 hours to drop off 5 packages at the post. And all I needed was a scan. And I was tempted many a time to say, screw it, let me just put this in a box. Because sometimes they'd say, anybody dropping off? But they wouldn't give you a scan. You could just like leave it in a thing. But I'm like, nope, I'd stand there in line for an hour because I wanted my little receipt. You lost top rated years ago. Really? You're like, okay, top rated. But you see my store get dead quiet at the same time. Go for 40 on record. That's funny. Put. Okay, I was gonna say again. Pound is funnier. Yeah, but dude, I hope you understand what I'm saying. About a year or 2 ago, my God, it was awful standing there in line for 45 minutes to drop off 5 packages because the lines were out the door because everybody had to be spaced. It's just horrible. All right, Tracy stopped at a light. Good. You ship every single day because you do not trust anybody with scanning my packages. Yep, I totally get it. I've never had an issue until last Thursday. That's good to know, Connie. Good, good, good. See, again, I'm sure I'm not the only one that does this. I have a series of items that I'll ship with UPS. So obviously I have to take those. We have a UPS store that's actually, I don't know, 3 doors down from my post office. So I'll definitely take a ride out with that. If I have something that's fairly valuable or fairly fragile or just something special that I don't want to just kind of sit out there all day in the elements, because that's another issue. If it rains, my stuff can get wet. But I have like a plastic bag that I put over the box. But I'll definitely still make the occasional trip out to the post office. I have to go to UPS store under those special circumstances. But 9 times out of 10 with the ads and the postcards and stuff, I throw them in. And I've never, again, other than Thursday, never had a problem with it. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah. We don't have again, we'd have somebody that occasionally shout out from the window or something. Anybody just dropping off? And you'd see a handful of people going up that don't care about the receipt. But the whole purpose, if I was going to go, the whole purpose would be to walk away with a physical receipt. Otherwise, why did I go? Same with me, Mark. Same with me. Other than Thursday. 4 items. It's amazing how quickly 4 items can like drop you though. 97%. But yeah, sales over 31 days. Again, it's just gross. Up 33.8. That's kind of cool for October. I was really concerned about it this time. Well, I guess a week and a day ago, right? Monday was the last show when we talked about all the promoted stuff. And then just to give you a quick, I'll just read some of the numbers if anybody cares. But now the reports for the full month of October, basically, right? So my impressions are up 20% over the September to October. Page views up 16.6. Quantities sold up 18.2. Click-through rate, blah, blah, blah. Organic impressions up 19.8%. Promoted impressions up 24.9. Surprise, surprise, because I went up to the 13 whatever percent I'm promoting in now. Impressions in top 20 went up by 30%. Rest of the search slot up by 19.7. Non-organic impressions up 19.5. So everything's up. Beautiful thing. Quantity sold is up. I definitely assume that it's due to what we did last week together, so which you guys all prompted me to do last week. So again, eternally grateful for that because I was really upset about it, the numbers. You like having a receipt, especially when you get adjustment for first class envelope that the post office says was a large flat rate, $10. What? Receipt covers me. Really? Yeah, I haven't had any problems like that. That's got to be mildly infuriating, actually, Connie. I'd be pretty mad. Okay. So the value of the card just sold were higher, but the quantity was down. I still say at the end of the day, it only comes down to what's in your bank account, right? With all this other stuff we hem and haw about and all the research we do and all the programs we have and all the calculations you do, all that matters is what goes into your bank account. And if that goes up, then you're in good shape. If that goes down, especially drastically, it's time to look at all the aforementioned things, tools that are at our disposal, make some tweaks, do what you got to do. Be actively engaged in your store and your business at all times. $2 isn't huge, right? I'll tell you what, to all, again, to Connie, to Mark, to Kelly, just because that's I think the main postcard people that are in the room right now. Let me just go up quickly and make sure I didn't miss anybody. But you probably saw in the video, what I'm very happy about is the cards I'm selling so far are all pretty much, without exception. I have a couple of $5 cards, but I've been selling a lot of $10 cards, which I'm really happy about. You know, most of them have been, I'm not selling a bunch of $3, $4 cards. Not that I won't be, and not that I wouldn't be grateful if they're cheap cards anyway, but it's pretty cool. Like, I'm getting a lot of bang for my buck so far. I don't know how long that's going to continue, and it's probably because I'm getting decent cards, obviously, from Popeye. You know, but yeah, I've been selling a whole bunch at $9.99. Like something, there was one card specifically that I put in the video. I didn't really speak about it in the video, but I was shocked. It's just like one of those monuments. You see millions of cards like this: Civil War monument, a World War I monument, or whatever war. Just a monument in a park, right? There's a million of them out there, and this one was from Hoboken, which I bought this big lot of New Jersey postcards from John, and been listing them. I'm almost done listing those, I think. Well, anyway, I was shocked. Like, it went for $10. I priced it up higher because I didn't see a lot of that specific one, but I figured, it's probably a junk card, but what the heck, you know? And it sold again in a couple of days for $10. I was really very pleasantly surprised. So I'm incredibly happy about that. The way that, you know, I'm not selling $3, $4 cards. If I had 50,000 listings and I was selling $3 and $4 cards, you know, by the bushel every day, I'd be fine with that. But I don't yet. So I'm really encouraged to see that I'm getting pretty good bang for my buck. On what I thought was a really mundane card, you know, Civil War Monument, Hoboken, in blah, blah, blah park. Cool. Yeah, Kelly's always lurking, isn't he? He's always research is what they'll call it in the trade. He's researching. Cranked out 3,100 items last month, but you've been listing those Springfield cards like crazy. Maybe I'll catch you by your end. Cool. Yay. But is that just postcards, Connie, or is that everything in your store? Because if you're selling $16 postcards left and right, we got to talk. Hey, Jay Smith, how you doing? Yeah, that's just there's not really a direct segue to this, but I forgot to mention, because now we're in November, shockingly. In 2 weeks and 3 days, on the 18th, I'll be going to my first postcard show in York, Pennsylvania. I really can't wait for this. I'm very pumped up. It's on a Friday. I'm gonna hang out with, at least meet John Popeye. We're gonna hang out a little bit. He's gonna show me the ropes. I'm sure we'll go our separate ways at some point, but he said, he'll walk me around and kind of just give me the gist, and then hope my wife can come with me. Got to see if she can get the day off, but I'm really looking forward to that. I cannot wait to see and just kind of experience the whole thing. It should be a lot of fun. Just postcards, you have a $16 average. That's fantastic, Connie. A couture collection she has. Yeah, same thing. I watch videos, and again, I've been lucky enough on these shows to have a bunch of people that really know what they're doing around postcards, and have been ridiculously helpful, which is it's a great community. I mean, don't make me tear up, everybody, but it's a great community we have here. And on a lot of the other shows, a lot of people jump around to show, and it just seems to be a very pleasant group of people that are all into similar things and don't mind sharing some ideas amongst each other. It's been extremely helpful for me too, Sandy. So I'm needless to say, I'm completely enamored with it. I'm really excited. I love it. It rescued my October. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I also know for a fact, like just by listing 1,200 for a month, it's really not that much. But when I was lingering around 3,000 listings, pretty much, selling a couple of hundred, listing a couple of hundred, right, pretty much every month. So to suddenly have this nice, relatively huge uptick in listings, active listings, brand new listings for the month, it definitely helped things. It definitely brought more eyes into my store and all. And I have been seeing, another good byproduct is that other things that have been sitting out there, like I said, a pair of shoes that we've had up for a year suddenly sold today. Some Disney things that suddenly sell. Like, it seems to trigger activity in general, which is always a good thing. I'm not one that has just one type of item in my store. I have a whole bunch of different things. Yes, I have a lot of print ads. Yes, I'm starting to get some postcards, but we still have 1,000 or 1,500 other listings that have absolutely nothing to do with ephemera. So it's good to see that it kind of trickles down. The success of that listing and exposure trickles down into other areas of my store and, results in sales, which is really cool. Wow, really? Good stuff. Yeah, right. How long realistically, Kelly, how long is it going to take you to go through all the cards you picked up over the summertime? It's going to take like months and months and months. You lowered your rank number to 15 of 21K. Oh yeah, where were you? You were 2 or something? You were really, or 9? Was it 9 last week? I don't remember the exact number, but I know you were way, way up there. Another 5,060 for ambitious. Nice. Yeah, these things happen. You were 16. Calamity was a 9. Okay. Still nothing to be ashamed of. Let me check out something quick. One other thing I did want to mention, just getting back to the whole performance data stuff really quickly from last show, right, which was, I guess, 8 days ago now. I had mentioned that, traffic in general, views, all the things that matter were down fairly significantly. Went in, changed the promoted thing, did a bunch of, I did also, and I don't know if I mentioned that last week, but I'm sure I did. I ended and sold similar like 1,200 or 1,500 items at the same time. So it just kind of triggered things. But another thing that happened as a result, I don't know if it was a direct result, but remember how I was saying I was sending offers out like crazy and just getting like no responses? Well, now, for whatever reason, this last week, it seems like almost every, not every, even if it's half, that's a lot. Like at least half of the people I've been sending out offers to have accepted, which is pretty cool. Whereas that week prior, it seemed like almost nobody, no matter what I did. And I had a ridiculous amount of them for me. I had a really good, like 30, 40 a day. It's pretty good for my store, you know, ability to send offers out. And I was getting no response at all. Now I'm getting like, you know, maybe, like I said, probably close to half the last week are responding, which is really cool. Don't know if there's a direct correlation there, but I'll tell you what, it's all good stuff. Krylov giveth, and Krylov taketh away. And he was taken away for that week, and he is giveth thing now. You think you're up to 100,000 pre-sorted scale? Wow, 3 years. That's fantastic, man. Ready to rock. Takes back a bit longer to list because of RPCs. Sure. See, and I don't have that problem yet, Mark, because I don't have any. I might have 2 or 3 RPCs so far. I don't have any. I just keep getting these basic cards from John so far. That's been my whole. Oh, I also did buy that one lot of, what was it, 500 from just an eBay. It was on eBay, and that had a nice mix of stuff, which I've sold a few, again, $10 cards from that, which is pretty cool. But no RPCs. Like, I just don't get them yet. I watched many a video about them, though. How to identify them, how you could be fooled into thinking it is one, but it really isn't, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, they're easy to bang out, absolutely. I like all the cards I have. Again, just personal preference as far as like stylistically, I really like linen cards. I don't know what it is. I just enjoy them. Again, nothing to do with their value or the success rate or lack of success. I like linen cards. I like the way they feel, I like the way they look. Again, I like the era that they represent, which is what, 20s to 50s, 40s, something like that. It's just cool looking cards in my book. Yeah, and that's pretty much what I've been doing for a couple of weeks with the cards. Save for these last few days, we talked about the whole weekend was kind of a washout, and Friday and Saturday wasn't home. So today was my first day to really get some listings up again. You have 80 boxes of everything but RPPCs, so when you get to them, you will roll through them. Cool. Being more selective on what you list individually. That's a good idea. Yeah, yeah, I know. I watched that video. Did I wind up not listing that one? Do you guys remember I showed? I think I still have it here. I'm starting to build up a pile of stuff that I am going to ultimately lot up. Here it is. My Trotta. Remember we had a 20-minute discussion about what this is called, Trotta or whatever. I never listed it because I know they're a disaster. But what I'm starting to do is when I go through some of these cards that I'm getting ready to list or scan before not list yet, when I get ready to scan them, if, like I said, if I have like crappy cards that are like in triplicate or quadruplicate, if that's a word, I'm starting to like maybe list one, I'll put the other ones aside, or I won't even list some of them if they're really cheap. And my hope is that I'm going to come up with a little death pile of cards, basically, that are garbage cards, and I'll throw them on eBay and lot them up. Maybe when I get like 1,000 of them or something. I don't know what the number is yet, but I have a pile of cards that I'm not listing. It's not a big pile because at this point beggars can't be choosy, and I want to get my listings up. But there are still, even though I'm new at it, I'm starting to see like some just really lousy, ridiculously generic, cheap. I don't want to sell cards for $2, you know. I'd rather lot them up and maybe just get some sum of money for a lot. Connie's concentrating on them. You just bought 4,000. Wow, it's got to be another one. Yeah, I haven't bought anything on whatnot in, I guess, about 2 weeks, right? Since probably, was it a Tuesday? I don't remember what night it was on Papa's show. I bought when I got my tub. I think that was 2 weeks ago. Uh-oh. I feel bad for him. I just hope he has a voice, because I had it. I know a lot of people out here probably had it. And one of the big things for me anyway was I couldn't get 2 words out without choking, without coughing. So I hope he's well enough to handle, because he doesn't go on for 20 minutes, folks. He's on for 3-4 hours at a time usually. So hopefully he's well enough to do a full show tonight. He's probably dying a couple of weeks of not doing these shows. My God. Yeah, I will not be buying tonight, guys. So anybody who wants to go in there without any fear of me getting in the way. Not that I'm going to get in the way. But that specific night, I was a buyer. I just wanted to get some. And I got them. So I'm very happy with that. And then a month's time or whatever time it takes to I say a month, it might be a lot less than that. Well, now that I know I'm going to this card show in a couple of weeks, maybe I won't have to go and whatnot for a while as far as buying, but we'll see. You can. See, I'm proud of what, like, Connie's and the Kellys, the Marks of the world. You guys have a lot of cards. You buy a lot of cards. And, yeah, maybe they sit there for a bit. But you also have tons of listings. So it's not like the quote-unquote death pile everybody talks about. You guys have a bunch of listings. It just becomes a matter of time, right? There's only so many hours in a day, especially if you have a job like Kelly's still working. I'm sure it's not easy. It's probably tempting. You want to get as many as you can up, but you're building a huge stockpile for a rainy day, and you continue to list. So I think that's fantastic. Hey, Jim. Oh, you'll be there? Cool. You'll definitely be there? Definitely. You know what I look like, so just look for me. I'll probably be hanging out with John somewhere. So I look forward to, hopefully we'll get to meet up. I'm going to bring the GoPro. Going to have some video of that, right? No doubt about it. That's should be a really cool video. I'm also working on a new video just for the channel. What do you know? It's about postcards, and it's not how to. I'm certainly in no position to be teaching anybody anything about them yet, but I do have something planned to do. I'm looking at a list. I scarcely do this, but here's a little sneak preview. I have a list of some ideas. I want to do a really nice video, probably pretty lengthy video too, all about postcards and some things that I've learned in this first month or so, basically, is what the gist of this video will be. So I'm going to be working on that this week for sure. We'll get it released towards the end of the week. And I'm sure everybody saw my little thing. I just got over 900 subscribers. So again, thanks to all of you. 90% there. A little less than 100 now. I think it was 904 at the start of the show. So we'll see what happens. But again, thanks to all of you who have been loyal supporters for. This is November. When do we start? February. How many months is that? 9 months now. And hopefully we'll crack that 1,000 mark relatively soon. Yeah, man, I look forward to it. We'll definitely we'll coordinate things prior to as we get a little bit closer. But it's this month now, at least. That's kind of cool. See, I like that approach. Again, I trust me, I understand. You say that, right? And then you get in the room and it's like, how do I not get this or something? If you see something, especially you have a great eye for the stuff, obviously. So if you see something that's kind of too good to be true, you can't resist going and grabbing them, right? Yeah, don't we all? Don't we all, Cameron? You will be down to eBay and YouTube only next year. Okay. 3 for $1 box cards were really good. First postcard show, but time consuming to look through. Yeah, but I don't mind, Jay Smith, because it's like it's probably almost a 2-hour ride for me to get out there. A little less, I think. And I'm there for the day, so I'm not like in a rush. I'm not going to race home. I'm there as long as I don't even know what the hours are, to be honest with you. I'm going to have to check it. But I'm looking to spend the day, so I don't mind hanging out and going through and spending time. I just want to I've said this a few times on previous shows. I just want to kind of get the atmosphere and hang out with some people that know what they're doing and listen to them and hopefully sit down and thumb through some postcards, see some new things, see what people that know what they're doing are looking for. Is that true? I have one is it cursed? The Halloween cards. He sent me one, which I'm just going to keep. Is that the cursed one? The new, like the handmade ones or something? Yeah, I have one. This is the one I got by White Chaos. Pretty cool. I'm just going to hang on to it. That's what the back looks like. Worm food. Good stuff. Let me put, I don't want to lose that. Put that back where it belongs. That's right, Emporium. I am a luck charm. Especially last week, in the midst of this whole debacle, like I said earlier, about the promote, at least in my case, the promoter thing, it seemed as though as soon as I fixed that and did some end and sell similar, everybody was getting money. Everybody in the chat was making sales or getting paid on stuff that was out there for a few days that wasn't paid. So congratulations. That's awesome. What'd you sell? Do you care to share with everybody what you sold? $35. Beautiful. Space is an ongoing issue. I did see that video, Mark. Seriously, you did a really nice video about fitting. I don't remember what the number was, but you did a video with like a very small shelf unit. You could fit, so many postcards in it. That was kind of cool. And you do have an immaculate looking work area, I must say, at least on the videos that you showed us. Being saturated and slaughtered at the same time. That's a pretty brutal combination. Highly descriptive too, I might say. Yeah, much to my chagrin, I have not had any. What time did we go on? 7. So it's only been a little less than an hour. Nothing this last hour. Who was saying, it was probably on one of Matt's morning shipping things. It was a perfect, I agreed wholeheartedly. I didn't say anything in the chat. I was lursting at that point, actually. Just had him on. But same thing with me. Like the majority of my sales, especially during this last week where things have picked up pretty well for me. Morning, overnight even, we'll say. Because, again, the West Coast people are 3 hours behind. So sometimes I'll wake up at 6 o'clock or something. It's still 3 in the morning. And there'll be some sales coming through from the time I went to bed until I got up, which is always a good thing. And then, like, I'll get a handful in the morning. And then, but the middle of the day from, like, 10, 11 o'clock until 5, basically, is usually crickets. And then 5, 6 o'clock, I get some more sales trickling. So now, again, we're approaching 8 o'clock. And I haven't had anything since, I don't know, mid-afternoon. So we'll see what happens. But I have some more watches now. That's kind of cool. On some items. We'll see what happens. But I'm glad the luck rubbed off on you, Emporium. Saturated and slaughtered. Hey, Allie, how you doing? You kept it for your personal? Yeah, he threw one in for me. Like, I guess if, everybody I'm sure knows that who's bought from him. He's so cool. He'll always throw in stuff, whether it's just like sleeves or whatever things if you buy some postcards from him, especially as a repeat buyer. So he gave me one of these for free on one of the lots I bought. I'm going to keep it too. It's all smoking. Yeah, so I was saying, it's like, do you have like a studio that you record your videos in that's not your place? But it does. It looked really neat. Very organized. Very, very, very nice. Oh, yeah? Sleek and clean. What a perfect way to describe it. Exactly. It looks very sleek and clean. Plus, he's got all the lighting going and all. Very, very attractive looking work area. Full kudos to Mark on that for sure. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, same with me. I don't know what I guess as long as you're getting sales, I don't really care necessarily what time of day. Ideally, would like to have them during every waking hour, sure, but absolutely morning. Especially when I first wake up, a handful to come in from the overnight, and then, yeah, like late afternoon. I'm going to say around 4 or 5 o'clock, and then, trickling into the evening. But again, now it's 8 o'clock. Nothing yet since 3 or so. I think was my last sale. Really, same with you. There's got to be a reason. What do we think the reason is? Let's put our heads together. There's got to be a reason for this. What do you think the rationale is there for the morning and evening sales? Yeah, let's get on it, Mark. Hey, Lori, how you doing? Welcome aboard. Oh, you changed your thing. You changed your avatar. Very cute. Into a mermaid. What do you know? Good to see you, Lori. Yeah, usually, right? It's depressing if you wake up and there's nothing. Yeah, Mark has that hotline. He's got the bat phone down there in his very neat and tidy office. It goes directly to eBay. He turns the spigot on for people's stores. Oh, she's a singing mermaid. There you go. It's hard to make it out. I guess you could kind of see. Does she have a microphone in the hand? Very cute. Did you make that yourself, or did you just find it somewhere? If one did a search for singing mermaid, maybe something like that might pop up. I'm not sure. Yep. Yep, you did which? You made it yourself? For those wondering at home, because I'm looking at the video here, my face looks very red. It's not red. When you have a green screen, I realize this today. If you have a green screen, which I do, even though this looks like a quaint little home thing, this yellow shirt, I'm wearing a yellow Winnie the Pooh shirt, as one does. And you can see there's kind of like a little translucency going on with the shirt. The yellow and the green don't seem to interact well. And it makes my face look red on the camera, driving me nuts. So anybody's concerned about like some high blood pressure being an issue or anything? Absolutely not. It's purely an illusion, much like Mark's sleek office space. And I'm not really red like this. eBay CEO, yeah, promote more, exactly. Give them more of your money if you want a snowball's chance in hell of selling anything. You found it and your daughter added it. Really cute. That's awesome, Laura. It looks cool. Dope! Get out. Of course he is. Of course he is. No, I am gonna hold off because I just wanna get what I have done. How's his voice sound, Kelly? Does he sound all right, or does he sound sick? I feel bad. I know how lousy it could be for people. Hopefully he's on the mend. Thing has a tendency to linger though for a while. Like even if you're feeling better, you still have like, at least I did. I had a ridiculous. I had it back in January, and I had a hiatus from the band for like 3. Thank God it really tied in perfect. If I had to get it, I got it at the perfect time. So it was like early January. We didn't have a show until like February 1st or something. So basically, I didn't miss any. Thank God I didn't miss any show time, and I wouldn't have been. There's no way I wouldn't have been able to sing. I couldn't even speak. Even though I didn't have a fever or anything like that, but it was just it was really difficult to get a word out without kind of that nagging cough thing going on. So, but it figures he's doing Disney. Is he doing Disneyland? Because looks like diaper rash. Why? Thank you. Yeah, I know. It's really strange. I told everybody I have the dual screen thing going. Yeah. So when I look on YouTube, it actually looks less red than it does on StreamYard. But I promise you, I'm not red like this. It's something to do with this stupid shirt and a green screen. Don't know why. He sounds tired. Oh man, yeah, I'm sure. Kelly's trying to end the show. I know. No, good. If anybody wants to go watch, go ahead. He's already struggling. Seriously, yeah, it really is a lot. Maybe he underestimated how demanding it is. He's got to keep talking. It's not easy to do. I feel bad for him. You asked for the jersey cards, Karen. Did you see? I don't know the exact date. It was probably about 2 weeks ago. I picked up what is it called? I was gonna say a bushel, not a bushel, a tub. I got a tub from John, all jersey cards. I had requested them too, Karen, and I hope you get them because they're doing well. I'm not going to be in there at all. I'm on here, so you can tell I'm not bidding. Imagine, oops, no, I'm not. But the jersey cards have been doing really well, so I highly suggest if you're interested, pick them up from them because you won't be disappointed, as someone once said. Do you really? Seriously? You have them pre-recorded? That's cool. Kelly's winning Disney cards. That's what Kelly does. Nice. Disneyland, Kelly? But on a serious, like, I really feel bad for him. I don't, like, if he feels lousy, that's not cool. But I understand the temptation. He makes a lot of money doing this. So he's probably like, let me just suck it up. Even if he just stays on for an hour or so, he'll probably still make a fortune. Oh, you don't know if it's Disneyland or not? Or Disney World? Is he saying it's just Disney? Yeah, can't go wrong. Does it really? Isn't it strange? It seems like something with me. I haven't been on for a couple of weeks, actually. I haven't even had a show in a couple of weeks because I wanted to save it for the Ephemerama thing coming up. And plus, I've had a lot of shows again recently, so I haven't Beatles shows, so I haven't had opportunity to do it. Yeah, press it, Connie. What could possibly go wrong? Connie's just watching. Does he really sound like tired though? Even I have sold a few, Connie. I got one lot from John. It wasn't a lot. It was like 20, 25 Disneyland cards. They were mostly 50s and 60s. In fact, they were all 50s and 60s. They were all Disneyland out in California. And I sold maybe 6 or 7 of them. And yeah, they were all like $10 and under so far anyway. So mass produced, Disney being Disney. Everybody has Disney stuff. New Jersey cards. Good luck, guys. Is Jeff a buyer? No, Karen's in there. She wants to don't lay off her Jersey cards. All right. Busy? Good stuff. But they're usually not high dollar. But again, it's one of those things. Who knows? It's always back to numbers, right? If it has a good sell-through rate, you might not get a lot of money for them, but they're going to sell. So if you have quantity, once again, what do we always come back to? Quantity, right? Yeah, because he was sick, Connie, for a bit. He had the dreaded Rona after a Disney trip. And then his family wound up coming down with it. So he's been off. And it's peanuts time, everybody. Cheers. Not that anybody cares, but I'm still doing the no carb thing since September 15th. Pushing 15 pounds down already. It's pretty cool. Oh, Matt was off. Sorry. Thought you meant John. Jeff has 5,000. Well, then I suggest Jeff list some. Gotcha. So he's a buyer again, huh? Have we mentioned this previously on a show? I don't know if we ever mentioned it, but it's something I've spoken with several people about, and everybody agrees totally. I wish there was like an incognito mode or something, if you will. When you go into an auction, right away your name pops up. It would be nice to just kind of lurk, like everybody does on YouTube, without having to get like this big introduction and everything. And then there's like an expectation you're going to buy something. I feel like I'd like to just check it out and look at it without buying anything. But unfortunately, as we speak today, you can't lurk in a whatnot auction. You are welcomed with open arms, which is not a bad thing. But you know what I mean? If you just want to kind of look, like sneak in and look, you can't do that. Good stuff. Good stuff. No, God forbid. I am definitely allergic to tree nuts, though. Walnuts, pecans, what else? Hazelnuts, all that kind of stuff. Almost died when I was like 8 years old on Thanksgiving at my grandmother's house. I was just eating nuts. They have like a nut dish or whatever, plate with the nuts and nutcracker at Thanksgiving. I was just sitting there munching, eating, 8 years old. Rushed to the hospital. Couldn't breathe. I had like this white stuff. It was brutal. And I just remember them saying at that point, you can't eat nuts anymore. So I just never eat nuts again. I don't know if I outgrew it. It's been 50 years almost, but I won't tempt it. But peanuts have never given me an issue. And I know a lot of people now, recently, peanut allergies are like exploding. Step away from the button. Right? There's no way to just like tiptoe in and just, look through the window. You have to, hey, Connie, how you doing? Right? Yeah. PA cars. I have a lot of Pennsylvania cars already. Go into his own auction as Popeye? That would be pretty funny. Yeah, there's a lot of Pennsylvania cars out there. Even I have a lot of Pennsylvania cars. For as far as a ratio of cars I own, there's a unhealthy balance of Pennsylvania. Well, now I have a lot of Jersey because I bought 500 Jersey cars, but I have a lot of Pennsylvania cars too. You have Maine. Interesting. I have Maine. And New Hampshire. I've been listing a lot of New Hampshire recently. Which I like because to me, anyway, they seem to be a lot less common than California and New York and Boston. You see a ton of Boston. I do anyway. Boston and Chicago stockyards cards. There's like a billion of them. I'm sure Mark knows all about that. Like even my ear looks like it's on fire. It's not. I promise you. New Hampshire and Vermont have the lowest sell-through rate. Oh, really? That's wild. Cool. That's a healthy approach. Like you don't want to buy them just for the sake of buying them, right? And I know Kelly's the same way. Like you're picky to an extent, which is a very good thing, right? Connie, am I incorrect in that statement? You don't buy just for the sake of buying. You like to be more particular about the stuff you pick up. I would imagine that's the case. I'm still sort of in the I want to buy stuff just to get some volume up, but even at my 1,000-ish level, I don't want to buy junk just to get to 2,000. I'd rather have 1,000 good cards than 2,000 and half of them stink. Has he ever shown any on these? He being Popeye, I've never seen him show any RPCs in these auctions that I watched. Because he's no dummy. He's not going to give them away. I think it's safe to say that most of the stuff he gives out, auctions are bread and butter stuff, and that's a great thing. It's a good way to start in a postcard business online. You're more selective, but you have a few people you just buy to buy. Really? That's interesting. Yeah, because I thought you had mentioned that you're purposely being more selective, right? In general. I know you have some sources you kind of can't go wrong with, right? Because you get them dirt cheap. Nothing wrong with that either. If they give them away, I mean, you'd be stupid not to at least grab them. Connie's gotten more selective. I'm sure that comes with time and experience and volume too, right? If you have so many cards. I look forward to the day when I could do that, be more selective. I mean, you really can be from the beginning if you'd like to, right? But I want to get volume so that I can be comfortable knowing I'm going to sell a decent portion every day. Excuse me. Pulling digestion going. Mark bought 500 cards and pulled out a $75 card. Really? That's right. The shop nearby has one dealer that puts 50 cards in a bag for $10, so I clear them out weekly. They junk lots, which is kind of what I'm trying to build up. Nice. That's pretty funny. You just pop in and he's got the bags out there for you. Connie, I never asked you because I haven't checked it out. How many do you mind sharing? How many listings do you have right now on eBay? Roughly. Oh, I have a hip postcard question for anybody that has sold on hip because I've never had any success on it, but I'm trying it now that I have about 1,000. Do you ship right out of hip, or do you have to ship like out of PayPal if you sell something? Anybody know? Some stupid reason I never looked that up. Oh, that was a big thing when they were doing the port over from eBay. They asked me in an email, what my shipping policy was. Do I have a flat shipping, free shipping, whatever? And that was, they have an override button or something, basically, where you can just set up, your own system on HIP, your own shipping profile, and you could override whatever exists in eBay, because obviously they're not going to have the standard envelope thing for HIP. So I just created like a new policy exclusively for HIP, and I ticked that radio button that says override eBay's shipping policy and go with whatever I put in. We'll see if I ever get to the point where I actually sell something on HIP. 22,000, nice. That's awesome, Connie. You ship from Pirate, okay. And Mark uses stamp and labels, really? Okay. HIP uses stamp, really? Cool, okay. Good advice. Thank you. You switched to first class for all hip? Oh, yeah? And you bring in everything over, all 20, whatever it was, 22,000, Connie? Or are you just doing like a portion of them? Because I guess the question is, anybody going to buy a $5 card on hip with $3, $4 shipping? That's one of the nice things on eBay is that most of us do the standard envelope. It's free shipping for the buyer. There's no right. I know exactly. Me too. That's what I'm saying. So I changed. I just made like a new policy on hip, and then I tick that button to override the eBay when it brings over everything when it does the sync. They asked me in an email when I was trying to get because I had to. I don't know if you guys had to do this, but I had to send an email. Like the enable sync option was grayed out, I guess because I hadn't had my store open for like over a year. And when I sent the email, they just asked me a couple of questions. Said we can initiate the process from here. Please answer the following, and I did. And that was a big thing that they mentioned about the shipping. That they highly recommended you come up with your own for hip exclusively, and to click that button so that there's no issues. Yes, they do pay for first class, and you bring it all over. Okay, good stuff. Because I know even Popeye, when he was doing the daily what's sold videos this last year or so, he would give you the tallies like I sold whatever, this amount of cards on eBay, and he's like, I sold one on hip. And he's a guy who probably had 34, I don't know how many listings, but he had thousands of listings on hip and just woeful sales, for somebody that has that much volume. So I remember being really turned off by the platform because I'm like, if this guy can't sell anything on hip, what am I going to do? But we'll see. Now that I got close to the 1,000, I just figured, what the heck, I'll try it for a month. It's 13 something for the month. I'll try. Even if I sell like 3 or 4 cards in a month, at least I'll make my money back for the store, right? And we'll see. Come on, no offers, nothing. An hour and 20 minutes. See, I jinxed myself. Things are great. Had a great week. You had to redo all your pages on hip. That was a doozy. Redo all your pages? Shipping policies or just the description? If you remember right, hip looks at eBay categories to sync, so make sure nothing in postcard categories you don't want to sync. I actually, yeah, it's interesting you say that, Mark, because the print ad thing, they actually allow print ads. And I wrote specifically, because that's another reason I stopped doing it. I had an account for like a year. I barely sold a thing. But that was a big, big thing, is I wanted to try to bring over, at the time I had no postcards, I wanted to bring over my print ads. Auction Professor had the guy on, if anybody remembers seeing it, like the CEO or whatever. And he was talking about it. And then Don was writing me privately a little bit. He's like, yeah, they're working on a way to get print ads over. Do you want to get print ads? I'm like, yeah, that would be awesome. Just another outlet for me to have my print ads on. Long story short, they weren't able to, like, they did some of them synced over, most of them didn't. And I got like an email from HIP that says, we're really sorry, there's just too many categories in eBay that don't have a corresponding category within HIP. They just have a kind of, almost like postcards have been whittled down to topographical, non-topographical. The print ad stuff on HIP was pretty meager. They had like 2 categories or something. So if you went past like advertising 1950 or whatever, they couldn't handle anything beyond that. And I'm sure everybody knows from my listing shows, we'll have like automobiles, beverages, whatever the categories are. They couldn't do anything. So like 10% of my, if that, came over, and it was like, forget this. But anyway, to your point, Mark, when I said, please, I just want to bring over postcards, don't bring over my ads, because they were initiating completely. It wasn't me. And it looks like, yeah, they just pulled over postcards in my case, which is good. Yep, I override. Yep, that's what I did. I hit that override button. Their advice was to click. There's just a little tick. Oh, really? Do you? You end up selling 1 pack of sleeves to Germany for domestic prices. Now you've gotten bitched at by a hip user for items being in the wrong categories. Really? He got reported. There you go. Connie will not take that. And nor do I blame her. Yeah, I never thought about. I always heard they were going to expand that, right? They started with just the sports cars, and they evolved into allowing postcards, and people talk about photos and a lot of other small pieces of ephemera. But I think it's pretty much still just those two categories, right? Hey, if you don't get caught in Africa, you just remind me of something. When I checked one of my, it was a California postcard, right? It didn't have a town on it. I don't know, maybe that's the problem. It said California orange groves, and it was an image of like the back of a train. You know, they used to do speeches like Teddy Roosevelt standing on the back of the train doing a speech to people. It was like 3 or 4 people on the back, the caboose of a train, with like American flags, and they were going through an orange grove. Well, anyway, I was just going in to look at some listings as they were coming over, and thank God I clicked on that one. It was in France, like France Orange de la blah blah blah, because I had orange, I guess, in there. I don't know what it was, so I had to go in and physically change that. Or needless to say, my card would never have been seen over on HIP. So that's a really good point, Connie. Sometimes I mean, you guys with 20 something thousand, it's going to be quite a task. But yeah, I caught the one anyway, and then I just kind of every 5 or 10 cars I kept looking and looking, and everything else was domestic and in the right state. But yeah, that one, orange groves in California or something, went up in France. How that happened, couldn't tell you. Atari website? Did you really? Oh, that's cool. For me, it was just an opportunity to have another, another forum to try to sell cars on. So I'm going to try it for the month of November. We'll see what happens. Certainly, if I don't sell any, I will not be continuing, because then that's a lot. But for $14 for a month, what the heck, right? You try it. $13.95, I think it wound up being for a month. In Kelly's case, he gets 3 months free. That's pretty cool. So phase one is, let's see if they do a successful port over. What's the word? Sync. Without putting you in France. Definitely something to take a look at if anybody else is thinking about doing this or has done it recently anyway. 100 bear postcards. Wow. Any anthropomorphic bears, Kelly? Does he still have a voice 25 minutes in? Yeah, that's definitely worth it. You literally can't lose, right? Good luck to you guys. Let us know during these shows, please, how you doing. If you get any sales. Free is definitely not a bad deal. I don't talk about this often, but I wanted to just mention it really quickly. Discogs. If anybody, I know most of the people here are ephemera and definitely a lot of postcard people. I sell records on my site. I love records. Excuse me 1 second. And I buy and sell, and I'm always in for research purposes and just enjoyment, Discogs. I've been selling pretty well on Discogs recently too. So if anybody does have any records and is interested in it, is not familiar with it, let me know. You can shoot me an email. I have a pretty high-level intro video about selling on Discogs on my channel if you want to check it out. But it's a really good alternative to eBay or any other site you might sell on if you're interested in records. It's all sorts of musical media. You can sell cassettes, you can sell CDs, you can sell 8-tracks if you want. If you come across any of that stuff on yard sales or estate sales, really a good website. I highly recommend Discogs. Check out the video if you'd like on my page several months ago. Nice thing about that is it's totally free. There is no, it's not totally free. Well, there's no charge for listing. There's no monthly fee. It's just they take a flat 8% of your sale price. That's it, period. No listing fee, no monthly fee to have a store or anything like that. I never even looked at Bonanza before. I've heard people, and it just seems like such a junky marketplace. Sorry, Jay Smith. What? Going to comment on which? Buyer makes money eventually, but it takes a while. Good night, Jeff. Thanks for coming in. Go list though. You got 5,000 cards to list. I would get cracking on that. Whatnot has lost its pizzazz. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people talk about that. Who knows? People have already said it's gonna, it's what's the jump the shark thing? Maybe it's jumped the shark already. Who knows? Maybe it's just getting started too. We really don't know. Let's see how eBay's thing does when that launches, the live auction. Go check it out. Thinking of listing on Discogs. I have a bunch of CDs and stuff. Yeah, absolutely, Grant. Check it out. I have a video. It's a really high level. Like, I could definitely do more, and I'd be happy to help you individually if you just want to send an email. Jiminy Flip it at Gmail. If you have any questions, it's a very user-friendly platform. Listing is free. Again, there's no monthly maintenance. You can just open an account on Whatnot. On Discogs, totally free. You don't have to sell. It's not really the interesting. What makes it really unique? It's purely an audio file, sort of a website. It's a great place. You can maintain your own catalog. Like, you could catalog your own records if you're into that. I am very much, or CDs or whatever you have, and it gives you a value, which is kind of cool. So you could kind of value your collection, your personal collection. The listing process is insanely easy. You probably heard this before, but it's true. You don't even need to upload photos because they have photos. What you have to do, I will say for sure, is know what you're doing. Like, if you're going to list a record, don't put the wrong, like if you say first edition or whatever, you might be able to get away with that on eBay because people may not be quite as savvy. On Discogs, they know this stuff, and they will call you out in a heartbeat. This is not a first pressing. This is a third pressing from Jacksonville in 1971. You really got to know your stuff. Like, so before you list, just do some research within Discogs, by the way. Very easy to look up. Make sure you have the right record. But anyway, if you want to list it, it'll just say have one to sell. You click a button, you put in a couple of title and things, and you're on your way. The photo that's already in the catalog will suffice. You don't have to list your own. If there's anything you want to say specifically about your record, like, you give it a grade and all that stuff, or your cover might differ, obviously, than the one that's out there for the listing, just make that mention in the description. If it has some kind of flaw or something, just state that. Be very transparent. But it's a really cool marketplace, a great group of people. But I will tell you, you better know what you're doing. Like, don't be lazy. Do some research. But yeah, check out the video, Grant. And if you have any questions, let me know. You can let me know in the comments there, or just send an email. Yeah, I've never even looked at Bonanza. It's kind of like me with Etsy, actually, Connie. Yep. I could definitely understand that. No desire to buy or whatnot. Oh, really? Oh, without question. It takes a while to get $70 off pairs because the algorithm doesn't favor spamming a bunch of very similar listings. Interesting. Me too, Kelly. I think we're probably in there the same night. Yeah, I haven't bought. I mean, other than Popeye, I bought a couple of records like months ago. Totally, again, unrelated to the postcard and ephemera thing that we usually talk about. But I'm a big record guy. In case anybody didn't know, you probably did. Yeah, no problem. Enjoy, Grant. If Dawn was here, she'd throw a link in the video. But Dawn, I know she told me she might not make it tonight, so that's no problem. Because I'm not on my regular night, you see. And when you throw Dawn off...
Did you just say my Donnie's in?
What?
Did you say my Dawn's there?
No, your Dawn is not here. Your Dawn told me she might not be in. So we're not gonna embarrass her. Because she said she might not be able to make it because of the fact it's Tuesday night and she had something else to do. I'll put a link in there for you, Grant, if you'd like to stick directly to the Whatnot. Excuse me, I keep saying Whatnot. Sorry about that. The Discogs video is right here if you want to click on it. Because we're all fans of just having stuff put in our laps and click on it. There you go. If anybody else wants to check it out, that's my Discogs introductory video. But it's good stuff. If anybody has any records that they don't know what to do with, or CDs, like I said, even CDs are selling really well. I was going to do a video about CDs, but I talked about it so much, I'm like, it would be highly repetitive. If you have CDs, which most of us have, and if you come across them, which most of you will out there in the wild, as they say, You can get them for a song, no pun intended, and they're selling pretty good again. It's nice the first show you've been on since what? Popeye's last show. Yeah, and I haven't even been in yet because I'm hearing from everybody else that is watching right now. A train load. Have you done decently on Whatnot, Mark? I think that's what they called them. Yeah. I'll tell you what, they sound fantastic. Say what you want. I mean, again, I'm a picky audiophile sort of individual, music guy. And yes, they have a tinny. There is definitely something to the digital recording process and stuff. It does have like a more tinny, clinical sound, is the way I would describe it. And records definitely have that warmth. But overall, like on a layman's system, on just a nice little system, CDs sound fantastic. You know, they really do. And don't forget about them. Oh yeah, so much so I might say, if you notice, I haven't done a show in like a month, and because I'm gearing up for the Ephemerama next week. Not next week, 2 weeks away, week and a half away. Excuse me. But yeah, I noticed that too, big time. So I'm like, following that old adage that time is money. I'm like, I'm not going to just sit there and talk to myself. So hopefully Ephemerama, and that's one of the reasons I'm showing some of these what sold things with the video, with the print ads, is to show everybody that might be interested in coming to them how much money you can make on them. So when you see a lot of 10 of them for $10, you should be diving all over it. I would be if somebody else was selling them, but nobody else is. Pretty much, I haven't seen anybody else sell them. Okay, less fees, right? Yeah, see, and I never, obviously, I'm not in a seller's position on Whatnot for postcards. I would be a buyer. I think Popeye has such an unbelievable racket going on there that I don't, who could possibly compete with him? If I was a postcard seller on Whatnot, I'd be quaking in my boots. A guy like Popeye out there. Thankfully, the one good thing is there's nobody, I haven't seen, you guys tell me, has anybody ever sold print ads on Whatnot except me? I mean, they might have mixed some in a general ephemera show. I've never seen anybody else do them, which is probably a good thing. But then the downside is that I don't think people realize how much money there is to be made. I know Kelly knows because Kelly was buying a ton of them from me. And one day when he gets to list them, he'll see he'll make some money. But I've had other people that have listed and sold successfully and like, wow. So it's one of those things that just kind of has to catch on. So it's catch-22. It's a good thing that I kind of have the market locked up on Whatnot, but there's not enough people that realize what I'm doing and say, oh my God, these are great deals, you know, far better than Popeye's, truth be told, because if people are spending that kind of money on lots for him, he's making a lot of money. And you could get lots and lots of my ads for dirt cheap. Not for long, though, because they won't be starting at dirt cheap. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. He has such an unbelievable quantity. It's virtually impossible. You can't compete. You made $4. That's good. The scan is on your list. Yeah, I know you've mentioned that. You're just down to a case of envelopes. Those are top priority at the moment. Sure. And you did wind up picking up a bunch of those Starlight things, right, Kelly? A week or two ago, you were talking about that. You were short. Did you wind up loading up on those? Hopefully. Come on, where's my nighttime sales? Anybody else getting any sales this last hour and a half we've been chatting? When does the nighttime stuff hit? It's almost bedtime. I better wake up to some cha-chings. Here's a question for all of you. Do you guys leave your phone on at night? Like volume on? So I usually turn mine off just so I don't want to hear bing, bling, bling from emails and all that stuff when I'm trying to go to bed. But once in a while, especially when I first go to like lay down to go to sleep, I'll leave it on because I want to hear a cha-ching. You know, call me silly, but I love the sound. So I'm kind of laying there, one ear open, hoping to hear a cha-ching. But it's always a good thing to, you know, rub your eyes when you first open them in the morning and look at the thing and see, you know, offer or whatever, at least there's a few offers. Popeye has 32 people in there. Most other people selling postcards aren't getting those bidding wars. Yeah. Well, again, that's the one obvious and well documented downside of Whatnot. It's all, I think, almost without exception, especially postcard and ephemera things. It's all other resellers. So that circle, what do we call it? A circular economy or whatever. We just keep buying and selling from each other. That's kind of bound to self-destruct at some point. But even if it stopped today, he's made so much money on these shows. No, exactly. He could sell, the tub clubs. He could sell 1,000 tubs a night and still never run out. You have a container. It's cool. You thought you had more sleeves. We just need to get through the end of the year. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Yeah, I just turned the sound off. My phone is on, but I have the sound off. So, it's equally annoying. You hear a little bzzz sometimes. It vibrates. I have a nightstand thing. Your phone is on 24 hours with volume up, just so you can hear that you're saying, right? You got one, Grant? Cool. Yeah, it's been slow here, too. Cool. Yeah, I did. I don't know if you watched a very small amount, 100 right before the show. I had 100 that were October 1st, so I just ended it sold similar, including a bunch of postcards, too, on that one. So let's see. Oh, God, yeah, absolutely. Gotcha. It's incredible. These things have become such a part of life. Phone is on just in case I need to pack something before leaving for work. No snooze button these days. Keep it on for emergencies. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like I said, I don't turn mine off. I just I turn the sound off. You know what I mean? Or very, very low. So I'll hear like a buzz or whatever. And God forbid, you don't want the dreaded call in the middle of the night from anybody being hurt or whatever. But I'm a light enough sleeper from raising 5 kids and all that. If even the buzz wakes me up, I always sleep with one ear open. You have 47 what? Sorry. I'm not sure what you're saying. 47 orders. Or do you mean containers? I'm sorry, Kelly. I'm not sure what you meant by the 47. Is that what you mean? Yeah, I know. Everybody's like, order you 47 orders today? Jeez Louise. Salud, Kelly. As they say in the whole country. Oh. Well, I have nothing for the last hour and 40 minutes, and that's discouraging. Like, show me even an offer at this point. I'd be pretty happy. A reasonable offer, of course. I did have a couple of really lousy offers today that I emphatically declined. And nothing to do with postcards. It was pieces. My wife, great call. A couple months ago, she picked up a bunch of rolls of yarn. I have a bunch of them. We've sold a ton of them. She got them all for $1 each at. Honey, where'd you get that yarn from? She has the headphones on. Sorry, I'll find out. But anyway, she bought these I don't know what the square footage is or whatever, but these little rolls of yarn about yay big, in different colors. I can't remember what the brand is, but I wound up listing them all. We sold a bunch of them for $16.99 a roll, and they were picked up for $1. So obviously, all day and all night, and super easy to ship and super light. So I had 3 offers today. Somebody wanted to buy 3 of them. They put $5 each. Hard decline because I've sold every one of them at the full $16.99 so far. So that was, I don't usually just completely decline somebody unless it's like ridiculous. If they put $1 off of you, not only you get declined, you're probably going to be blocked just because. But the $5 one was really cheap. I'm like, no, decline. But I see they're all being watched now, so obviously she's going to keep an eye on them. Yeah, 47 is obscene, actually. Congratulations, man. Mount Vernon got. There you go. Lori's still accumulating. Yeah, me too. I'm accumulating and listing, though, thankfully. I do not want to have thousands of postcards scattered in boxes on my unlisted. So I'm trying to stay, whatever again, it's easy when you first start. I know it gets harder as you get more and more quantity, but right now I'm trying to buy and list and buy and list. And then when I run low, not to zero anymore like I did last month, when I get to zero, when I get to like 50 or something, I'll buy some more, but I'm not going to let thousands of cards just pile up. It's not going to happen. And I said it here live on the air, so it's not going to happen. Good stuff. Yeah, same here, Lori. Since last Monday, which was, I don't know if you saw the show, but I had this terrible downturn in traffic into my store, and we talked about it at length during that show. And a few people chimed in, including Connie, and kind of helped out with it. Turns out I had a bunch of competing campaigns, promotion campaigns, all running that I forgot to stop. I didn't even realize you need to stop them. So I canceled every one of them. And then I just ran one brand new one, and it really helped. And again, I did like 1,500 and so similar. And the combination, I guess, of those two, and maybe it was just the timing of the month, who knows, whatever the reason, had a much better week. And I wound up being up 33% gross sales for the month of October from September. So very, very happy. They didn't fall off a truck. Not sure. Cards? You have 12 sold? That's awesome, man. Oh, the yarn? No, she picked them up at like Joann Fabrics or something. They had like it's about probably 2 months ago, maybe. They were just giving away basically $1 each. They're not big. They're like, I don't know. Hold on. I'll grab one. Let me show you. I know the crowd is wondering. Here's a non-ephemera related bolo for everybody. If you happen upon these for $1 a piece, I got a whole garbage bag filled. But we've been selling, I sold a lot of them. Here you go. Yarn Inspirations, Karen Latte Cakes is like the color. This one is called Kissy Kissy. No, this one is called Plum Fresh. See that right there? Plum Fresh. We have one called Kissy Kissy. We sold like 10 of them for $16.99, and every one of these were $1. Like I said, they're not huge, and they're under £1, and very simple to ship. And most of the people that have bought them have bought multiples. They buy 3 or 4 at a time. Anyway, I got a cheap offer this morning. They wanted to buy 3 at $5 a piece. Absolutely not. But it's pretty cool. So when things like that, that was all my wife. She just came home with these one day. Honey, I was at Joann. I think it was Joann Fabrics. I don't know if that's a chain that everybody has, but it's like a Michael's or whatever, just an arts and crafts store. So little things like that make me happy. Now, you would think toys would pick up now, right? Especially now that it's November. Oh, what a great question, Connie. Because I did just mention I did 100 right before the show, and probably half of them were postcards. So that's a great question. I haven't looked into HIP yet because I went on the air right after I did that. I was told that's supposedly not an issue. Sold out of 8 tubs of stuff. You've been selling a lot of fishing line. Oh, wow, that's interesting. Nice. There you go. Yeah, we don't have to just sell postcards, right? Used to work at Michael's. Get out. Yeah, I think it was Joann's, Lori, but same, let's be honest, pretty much same thing. Yeah, and they were $1 each. So she picked up probably like 50 of them. And yeah, the sales have been beautiful. When they come through, I always smile, $16.99, cha-ching. And most of the people that have bought them have bought 2 or 3 at a time. And that's something you would think would do great on Etsy. So I cross-posted that to Etsy when I listed them, and nothing on Etsy. I'm gonna give them the heave-ho shortly. It just annoys me. That's 20 cents a listing, and every once in a while I'll just get a little. In fact, I think I got one today that I owed a couple of bucks to Etsy for listing 20 cents per listing. It's like a slap in the face. I haven't sold anything on Etsy. I didn't sell anything on Etsy in the whole month of October. But I only have I think I have 45 active listings now on Etsy. Yeah, that's a great point. And again, I have a much smaller sampling, but same nerves. And I guess if you sort by newly listed, that's how you can tell, obviously, that the ones you, and then still similar. Taking up knitting. Yep. Okay, that's awesome, Connie. Good. Did you really? Congratulations. For just that portion, and they still haven't synced everything yet, you were saying, Kelly? At least at the beginning of the show, you still have like 10,000, right? Yeah, and I'm not anti Etsy at all. I'm really not. I'd give it absolutely virtually no attention. I should give it attention. If you want to be successful, you probably need to take care of the stuff on your site. But I don't know. There's something about it that I talked about this early. One of the things that really rubbed me the wrong way initially when I first brought over a bunch of listings was the whole how you defaulted into whatever their equivalent of their promoted listings thing was. And I sold this nice jacket that was my dad's jacket for like 100 something bucks. I was all excited, and like literally half of it want to be in fees. I'm like, what is this? And they took like 15 or 20% in advertising. Etsy promoted something. It was kind of, I felt bamboozled. You know what I mean? It's like they default enter you into this thing unless you choose to opt out. I know a few people have complained about it. So anyway, that really rubbed me the wrong way. And there was something else that annoyed the heck out of me. I don't remember what it is right now. So anyway, with that said, I never really added to that initial 100 something listings I brought over. And it's just if something sells, great. But I don't even look at them. Like, I don't even look at my listings. I don't even look at if anybody watches them. So, Digimark, was it, you do toys? You're also a toy guy, you said? Was it like toys? Was it postcards? Popeye's calling a question. Yeah, I'm sure, man. That's tough to be able to try to talk. Trust me, I know. But especially when you have that. I didn't even know they had one. Do they have one for sure, Connie? Because last time I was on, they definitely didn't. Yeah, the fees are obscene, Mark. Exactly. The first, and like I said, that first jacket, I was all excited because that sold pretty quickly. And I'm like, oh man, Etsy, here we go. I'm going to bring more stuff over. And when I tell you, I'm not even kidding. It was like half of the value was fees. And I'm like, what? And then, the other thing was something to do with free shipping. Like, it was automatically telling me that if something was over, I don't remember what the threshold was, over $20 or $25, it was automatically free shipping. It's like, what? So same kind of scenario. I think that's what happened with that jacket. It wound up being, I had to ship it for free for some reason. And the marketing fee or whatever, the promoted, whatever their equivalent name is. So yeah, 50%. So I had to deactivate both of those options. And of course, they do everything they can to not make you do it. Are you sure? Without this, you will not going to. Yes. So live and learn. But yeah, I was killed on that first one. And it just left a bad taste. They have an app, really? Yeah, exactly. What is it called? All postcards. Okay. Oh, that you've actually listed directly on Etsy? Cool. It can't be that long. I mean, they didn't have it when I was maybe a year ago or so is when I canceled mine. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it can't be easy to do. Nobody's saying it's easy to keep all this stuff in sync. You're right, because it's totally different programming and all that. But with that said, if you want to play these games, if you want to participate in this kind of stuff and you want to try to pull over stuff from eBay, you should spend some time and make sure that cross-posting technology is pretty savvy. Is it just called Hip Postcard? Connie said, yeah, it's just called Hip Postcard. Okay, cool. I'll check it out. Maybe I'll again, phone is the camera, so I can't do it now, but do I have my iPad here? No, I don't. My iPad is in the bag, so I can't use it. I was going to check it out, but I'll look to download that. Cool. So do you get a notification, Connie, on the app if you sell? Like, do you get a cha-ching sound or something equivalent? Etsy has a sound that's sort of a cha-ching, but different. Do you get a little sound if something sells on Hip? See, again, I'm hoping to sell something, obviously, but I have no idea what a sound, or I guess you just get an email on the website. If something sells, you'll get an email that something sold. I'm hoping that maybe if they have an app, which kind of says they do, that they have some kind of sound or a vibration or a notification when you do sell something. Yep. You don't list directly. Yeah, I never did. I just bring everything over. It's easier almost, right? Why even bother doing that if you just have everything? And then most importantly, I'm sure you all know this, but as we add listings during a day, they also come over automatically. So that's kind of cool. So it's not like you have to constantly reset the token or whatever, constantly enable the sync. It's supposedly every time you list, it's going to take some time to catch up. But even if you do because I said, I aspire to do 50 to 100 a day, more or less cards. Will they come over? And they're like, absolutely. Just allow some time. Nothing is coming up in the App Store. It's just not the web address that you saved as an icon. Yeah, it's funny because you don't get notifications. You wish. Yeah, sure. That's the only reason I would even want a phone app is so I get a notification. Otherwise, it's useless. I didn't see anything either, Kelly, and I looked today. That's why I'm curious where Connie got this, and she's been using it. Yeah, do you just log into the website on your phone? Or maybe it's not called. Is there a different name? Check it out, Connie. If you could look on your phone and see what it's called. But yeah, that would, for me personally, the only reason I would ever even download an app for HIP would be to hopefully get a notification. So if that's not even an option, then cool. Thanks, Connie. I'm not putting it in the spot. I'm just saying I looked too earlier today, so I was like, oh, I wonder if they have one, and nothing came up in the iPhone thing, the store. Excuse me. Yeah, that's when you're in the big boy territory, right? That was kind of the knock on HIP, is that they just don't have, obviously not nearly the exposure of eBay, but they just don't have, at least a year ago or so, like they just don't have the traffic. They don't have a lot of people, or the notoriety, is that the right word? Whatever the word you want to use. I think the heart's in the right place. I think they have a cool platform. The ability to pull all that stuff from eBay is not easy, as Mark alluded to. It's not, from an IT perspective. It's not easy work. And, at least in my little store, they did it successfully. It sounds like in Kelly's, they're bringing everything over. It sounds like in Connie's, they're bringing everything over. But they just don't have the gumption, whatever the word is. Maybe they'll get there eventually. I hope they do. It might. As we all await Connie's, to see what the name of this app is. As silence comes over the crowd, because we're all waiting on Connie's answer. At least I am. I bet you Kelly is. If it sells on eBay, it will come off HIP. If it sells on HIP, you have to manually run the file. Yep. Yeah, I saw that. They have that right on the splash page too, Mark, of HIP now, that they highly suggest you do. And you could just literally click on a link, I think, and it gives you the reporting tool to do that. Is it a CSV or whatever? Yeah, you just copy and paste the title from the email and remove from your bag. Cool. Well, you just had one, Kelly, right? You said you just had a sale today. Did you get any sort of notification or something? Or what did you get, an email that said something sold? Like, how are you notified by HIP? I would love an app that gave me a good old cha-ching sound or whatever they want to put in to let me know something sold. Email. Okay, cool. And were you saying you're just throwing a stamp on them, Kelly, right now? Sales from HIP. There you go. With a stamp. You just stamp. Okay, cool. Okay, it's been a long day. It's a shortcut or something. Maybe not an app. Yeah, you probably just have the website saved then, Connie. Which there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I looked on the store and it didn't have an app. Maybe. But it probably just takes you to the web page, right? Thing is, if it doesn't give you a notification, then no real, for me anyway, again, I'm just speaking for myself, then there's really no reason. Even if they had an app, I wouldn't. If it's not going to tell me something sold, I don't care. Not going to use it to do anything. I think it's cool that you have a shortcut on your phone. If you did that, that's kind of good. It takes you to the main page. Yeah, it's just a shortcut to the web page. That's cool. I guess it can't hurt just to browse your watches and your cha-ching. Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, when you get off the phone with eBay, Mark, then you have the secondary hotline to hit, right? Tell them to generate a sale. Actually, you know what you do for me, Mark? Why don't you get on the phone with Etsy? And tell them to sell one of my stupid pieces of yarn. I don't need it on Etsy if they're selling eBay. I don't care. As long as they sell. Yeah. All right, cool. Nothing wrong with that, Connie. I hope maybe they'll come up with an actual app. That, like I said, that's a big boy thing. When you get an app or whatever, I guess it's an evolutionary process for the company if they could get to the point where they could afford to develop one. I bet you that's part of the reason they don't have a huge footprint yet. There you go. Yeah, I never saw anything about an app. They probably do. At least they shut my store down, that's for sure. They take a little siesta at 1 o'clock. Man, 2 solid hours with nothing. You come on, you try to be positive. I don't try. I am positive. I really am. I'm a positive person. And I am very happy with the way things have been going since last Monday, when I corrected some errors and got some good results. However, in the last 2 hours, guts. Hip has been around for a while. I don't get why they don't have an app and having to run a file to insult. Yeah, that's weak. Totally weak. They can't get this stuff together with that. Yeah. It's cool that they could bring this stuff over. I mean, that really is huge. But yeah, beyond that, there's still some work to be done. Yeah, perhaps. And I know a lot of people left in droves right now. Apparently, if at least a few of us here are going to give them another shot and all, but this isn't not a good start to things anyway. All right, guys, I'm going to call it a night. It's 9 o'clock. I appreciate everybody coming on. It's been a fun, quick 2 hours. I just want to kind of say hi to everyone. Tuesday night, it's an off night, and say that, luckily for me anyway, things have been going pretty well last week. Hopefully they continue through November for all of us. Keep listening, keep buying, keep sourcing. Hope John gets better. I'm sure he had a rough hour out there and whatnot. It's been a really enjoyable time. I'll come back on Friday for sure. I don't have anything going on Friday night, and maybe we'll do a little listing again. I still hate this listing tool. I'm not going to gripe, but I hate the listing tool. So we'll work around. We'll do some listing. I'm going to get some postcards up the next few days. I am going to work on this new video. Hopefully you guys will check it out. I'll let you know when it's coming on, but I'm still in the process of recording it. But it's basically like just some things I've learned about postcards, doing this, the first month or so of trying to get into them. I will see everybody on Friday. I'll put something up probably tomorrow's Wednesday. I'll probably put some up Wednesday for the Friday show, for the listing show. So until then, have a great week and stay safe and have a lot of fun and happy November. Bye-bye. Peace.